I really never thought that this wasn't going to be worth it. The hardest thing probably has been to not listen to the people that say you can't do it, to turn down the volume on all the negativity, and to focus on the things that are positive, the things that are uplifting, and the things that drive you forward to the finish line. My name is James Lawrence. I'm a husband, a father, and a triathlete. In 2012, I broke the world record for the most iron distance triathlons done in 1 year. That number is 30. An iron distance triathlon consists of a 2.4-mile swim, a 112-mile bike ride, followed by a 26.2 marathon run. This year, including training, I swam over 450 miles. That is close to the equivalent of swimming from San Francisco to Los Angeles. I ran about 3,000 miles, and that's the distance from the northern tip of Maine to the southern tip of California. I also biked about 16,000 miles, which is about 2/3 of the way around the world. I did this project in 2012 for myself, my kids, and my wife. We had a lot of people out there tell us that we couldn't do it, and this was actually a great opportunity to prove to them that we could. But mostly just prove to myself and my children that if you go out and you set a goal, you go, you do it, and you take care of it. By doing this project, we had a great opportunity to inspire people, to motivate them to doing something bigger than themselves. It was a huge blessing for us and an opportunity to go out and raise money for charity. It affected a lot of people out there that we didn't even know, and hopefully impact their lives for generations and years to come. In order to have success and accomplish this goal, there were many moments where I had to rely on people, I had to make good connections with people, and I don't think I would have made it to this finish line or achieved this goal had it not been for the energy and efforts of others. A race in particular I can think of would have been the 27th race of the year, where I had an awesome opportunity to race with a boy named Dayton. Dayton has cerebral palsy and he can't swim, bike, or run on his own. And I simply wanted to give him the opportunity to be an Ironman and help him cross that finish line.
This is one of the coolest things I've ever done, man. I'm having a blast.
By mile 30 of the bike ride, I was completely demoralized. There was a severe malfunction with the cart that almost made it impossible to continue. I completely wanted to quit, but as I looked back at Dayton, I realized I couldn't, and that absolutely wasn't an option. Had it not been for his energy, his spirit, I don't think I would have made it through that day.
off this bike. Yeah. But I feel good. We got about 4 miles to go. I can taste the marathon. Bringing Dayton home.
I don't think I will ever forget that day with Dayton. It was one of the more special, more real days I had all year. That was easily one of the hardest things I've ever done, and at the exact same time one of the coolest things I've ever done. I wanted to quit at mile 30 on the bike ride, and I kept thinking to myself, Dayton can't ride a bike, and I get to ride my bike today. And I kept saying to myself, I get to ride my bike, I get to ride my bike. And then we got to the run, and I kept saying, Dayton can't run, and I get to run today. And it was really Dayton that got me through that whole thing. I was done. I was completely exhausted, and I just couldn't quit. And so it was one of the coolest experiences I've had this year. So thank you, Dayton.
My morning routine, pretty simple. 2 packets of rocket fuel, some ASEA, disgusting V8, and then some First Endurance Ultragen. Not Ultragen, it's that early. Optogen, First Endurance Optogen, and then some 6 nutrition. You ready, Dave? Yeah.
Probably 2 of the hardest components that I had to deal with all year was logistics and finances. Doing the actual Ironmans, oddly enough, was the easy part for me. I had to worry about food on the table, rent being paid, making sure that my family was taken care of. Once I got to the start line of the race, I was in my zone. That was my element. I knew at that point all I had to do was swim, bike, and run, and I knew I could do that.
Here we go. We're less than a minute away from the 30th Ironman of the year. Here we go, baby.
3, 2,
When I'm swimming, I just it feels like I'm flying, because it's the water's dark and there's little white bubbles. And so when I'm swimming and I'm pulling hard, and it just feels like it's a dark lit sky with stars all around me, and I'm just kind of flying. And then when I get on the bike, I really enjoy that time. It's just one of the highlights of my day. The entire day is a highlight, but being out there on the bike, it's just a special time for me. There are definite hard times on the bike just because it's one of the longest parts of the race. And then you get these euphoric highs where you're just flying and you're like, this is exactly where I want to be. Time to do the last 26.2 miles of the year. Time to take one last victory lap, man. And then once you start running, it's just a marathon, right? But that's when you really get into the heart of an Ironman.
People keep asking me when are you excited it's the last of the race? Are you excited it's almost over? And I'm like, well, I'm not really feeling anything yet. And as soon as I saw him cross the finish line, it was okay to let my guard down. I just can't believe we did it. I can't believe he did it, all that sacrifice, everything. It's done, we did it.
I am so pumped to have set such a big goal and to finish it, to have my friends, my family here with me. It couldn't have been a better day. I couldn't feel better than I do right now. Just thanks everybody for all the support. This was an incredible year. I am so happy.